Welcome to the Bible in a Year reading plan. Together we will read through the entire Bible. A portion from the Old Testament, New Testament, Psalms and Proverbs every day. Today's reading is in the video image. Read along, listen daily, and grow in the Word. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay on track with us daily. And you can always go back to previous videos if you miss any days. Numbers 19. Now the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, This is the ordinance of the law which the Lord has commanded, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, that they bring you a red heifer without blemish, in which there is no defect and on which a yoke has never come. 3 You shall give it to Eleazar the priest, that he may take it outside the camp, and it shall be slaughtered before him. And Eleazar the priest shall take some of its blood with his finger, and sprinkle some of its blood 7 times directly in front of the tabernacle of meeting. 5 Then the heifer shall be burned in his sight, its hide, its flesh, its blood, and its offal shall be burned. 6 And the priest shall take cedar wood and hyssop and scarlet, and cast them into the midst of the fire, burning the heifer. 7 Then the priest shall wash his clothes, he shall bathe in water, and afterward he shall come into the camp. The priest shall be unclean until evening. 8 And the one who burns it shall wash his clothes in water, bathe in water, and shall be unclean until evening. 9 Then a man who is clean shall gather up the ashes of the heifer, and store them outside the camp in a clean place, and they shall be kept for the congregation of the children of Israel for the water of purification. It is for purifying from sin. 10 And the one who gathers the ashes of the heifer shall wash his clothes, and be unclean until evening. It shall be a statute forever to the children of Israel and to the stranger who dwells among them. 11 He who touches the dead body of anyone shall be unclean 7 days. 12 He shall purify himself with the water on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, then he will be clean. But if he does not purify himself on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, he will not be clean. 13 Whoever touches the body of anyone who has died, and does not purify himself, defile the tabernacle of the Lord. That person shall be cut off from Israel. He shall be unclean, because the water of purification was not sprinkled on him. His uncleanness is still on him. 14 This is the law when a man dies in a tent. All who come into the tent and all who are in the tent shall be unclean 7 days. 15 And every open vessel, which has no cover fastened on it, is unclean. 16 Whoever in the open field touches one who is slain by a sword or who has died, or a bone of a man, or a grave, shall be unclean 7 days. 17 And for an unclean person they shall take some of the ashes of the heifer burnt for purification from sin, and running water shall be put on them in a vessel. 18 A clean person shall take hyssop and dip it in the water, sprinkle it on the tent, on all the vessels, on the persons who were there, or on the one who touched a bone, the slain, the dead, or a grave. 19 The clean person shall sprinkle the unclean on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, and on the 7th day he shall purify himself, wash his clothes, and bathe in water. And at evening he shall be clean. 20 But the man who is unclean and does not purify himself, that person shall be cut off from among the assembly, because he has defiled the sanctuary of the Lord. The water of purification has not been sprinkled on him. He is unclean. 21 It shall be a perpetual statute for them. He who sprinkles the water of purification shall wash his clothes, and he who touches the water of purification shall be unclean until evening. 22 Whatever the unclean person touches shall be unclean, and the person who touches it shall be unclean until evening. Numbers 20. Then the children of Israel, the whole congregation, came into the wilderness of Zin in the 1st month, and the people stayed in Kadesh, and Miriam died there and was buried there. 2 Now there was no water for the congregation, so they gathered together against Moses and Aaron. 3 And the people contended with Moses and spoke, saying, If only we had died when our brethren died before the Lord. For why have you brought up the assembly of the Lord into this wilderness, that we and our animals should die here. 5 And why have you made us come up out of Egypt, to bring us to this evil place? It is not a place of grain or figs or vines or pomegranates, nor is there any water to drink. 6 So Moses and Aaron went from the presence of the assembly to the door of the tabernacle of meeting, and they fell on their faces. And the glory of the Lord appeared to them. 7 Then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, 8 Take the rod, you and your brother Aaron gather the congregation together. Speak to the rock before their eyes, and it will yield its water. Thus you shall bring water for them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their animals. 9 So Moses took the rod from before the Lord as he commanded him. 10 And Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock, and he said to them, Hear now, you rebels. Must we bring water for you out of this rock? 11 Then Moses lifted his hand and struck the rock twice with his rod, and water came out abundantly, and the congregation and their animals drank. 12 Then the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, Because you did not believe me, to hallow me in the eyes of the children of Israel, therefore you shall not bring this assembly into the land which I have given them. 13 This was the water of Meribah, because the children of Israel contended with the Lord, and he was hallowed among them. 14 Now Moses sent messengers from Kadesh to the king of Edom. Thus says your brother Israel, You know all the hardship that has befallen us. 15 How our fathers went down to Egypt, and we dwelt in Egypt a long time, and the Egyptians afflicted us and our fathers. 16 When we cried out to the Lord, he heard our voice and sent the angel and brought us up out of Egypt. Now here we are in Kadesh, a city on the edge of your border. 17 Please let us pass through your country. We will not pass through fields or vineyards, nor will we drink water from wells. We will go along the king's highway. We will not turn aside to the right hand or to the left until we have passed through your territory. 18 Then Edom said to him, You shall not pass through my land, lest I come out against you with the sword. 19 So the children of Israel said to him, We will go by the highway, and if I or my livestock drink any of your water, then I will pay for it. Let me only pass through on foot, nothing more. 20 Then he said, You shall not pass through. So Edom came out against them with many men and with a strong hand. 21 Thus Edom refused to give Israel passage through his territory, so Israel turned away from him. 22 Then the children of Israel, the whole congregation, journeyed from Kadesh and came to Mount Hor. 23 And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron in Mount Hor by the border of the land of Edom, saying, 24 Aaron shall be gathered to his people, for he shall not enter the land which I have given to the children of Israel, because you rebelled against my word at the water of Meribah. 25 Take Aaron and Eleazar his son, and bring them up to Mount Hor. 26 And strip Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son, for Aaron shall be gathered to his people and die there. 27 So Moses did just as the Lord commanded, and they went up to Mount Hor in the sight of all the congregation. 28 Moses stripped Aaron of his garments and put them on Eleazar his son, and Aaron died there on the top of the mountain. Then Moses and Eleazar came down from the mountain. 29 Now when all the congregation saw that Aaron was dead, all the house of Israel mourned for Aaron 30 days. Mark 6 Then he went out from there and came to his own country, and his disciples followed him. 2 And when the Sabbath had come, he began to teach in the synagogue. And many hearing him were astonished, saying, Where did this man get these things? And what wisdom is this which is given to him, that such mighty works are performed by his hands? 3 Is this not the carpenter, the son of Mary, and brother of James, Joses, Judas, and Simon? And are not his sisters here with us? And they were offended at him. 4 But Jesus said to them, A prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, and in his own house. 5 Now he could do no mighty work there, except that he laid his hands on a few sick people and healed them. 6 And he marveled because of their unbelief. Then he went about the villages in a circuit, teaching. 7 And he called the 12 to himself, and began to send them out 2 by 2, and gave them power over unclean spirits. 8 He commanded them to take nothing for the journey except a staff, no bag, no bread, no copper in their money belts. 9 But to wear sandals, and not to put on 2 tunics. 10 Also he said to them, in whatever place you enter a house, stay there till you depart from that place. 11 And whoever will not receive you nor hear you, when you depart from there, shake off the dust under your feet as a testimony against them. Assuredly, I say to you, it will be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. 12 So they went out and preached that people should repent. 13 And they cast out many demons, and anointed with oil many who were sick, and healed them. 14 Now King Herod heard of him, for his name had become well known. And he said, John the Baptist is risen from the dead, and therefore these powers are at work in him. 15 Others said, it is Elijah. And others said, it is the prophet, or like one of the prophets. 16 But when Herod heard, he said, this is John, whom I beheaded. He has been raised from the dead. 17 For Herod himself had sent and laid hold of John, and bound him in prison for the sake of Herodias, his brother Philip's wife, for he had married her. 18 For John had said to Herod, it is not lawful for you to have your brother's wife. 19 Therefore Herodias held it against him and wanted to kill him, but she could not. 24 Herod feared John, knowing that he was a just and holy man, and he protected him. And when he heard him, he did many things, and heard him gladly. 21 Then an opportune day came when Herod on his birthday gave a feast for his nobles, the high officers, and the chief men of Galilee. 22 And when Herodias' daughter herself came in and danced, and pleased Herod and those who sat with him, the king said to the girl, ask me whatever you want, and I will give it to you. 23 He also swore to her, whatever you ask me, I will give you, up to half of my kingdom. 24 So she went out and said to her mother, what shall I ask? And she said, the head of John the Baptist. 25 Immediately she came in with haste to the king and asked, saying, I want you to give me at once the head of John the Baptist on a platter. 26 And the king was exceedingly sorry, yet, because of the oaths and because of those who sat with him, he did not want to refuse her. 27 Immediately the king sent an executioner and commanded his head to be brought. And he went and beheaded him in prison. 28 Brought his head on a platter, and gave it to the girl, and the girl gave it to her mother. 29 When his disciples heard of it, they came and took away his corpse and laid it in a tomb. Psalm 55. To the chief musician, with stringed instruments. A contemplation of David. Give ear to my prayer, O God, and do not hide yourself from my supplication. 2 Attend to me, and hear me. I am restless in my complaint, and moan noisily. 3 Because of the voice of the enemy, because of the oppression of the wicked, for they bring down trouble upon me, and in wrath they hate me. 4 My heart is severely pained within me, and the terrors of death have fallen upon me. 5 Fearfulness and trembling have come upon me, and horror has overwhelmed me. 6 So I said, oh, that I had wings like a dove. I would fly away and be at rest. 7 Indeed, I would wander far off, and remain in the wilderness. Selah. 8 I would hasten my escape from the windy storm and tempest. 9 Destroy, O Lord, and divide their tongues, for I have seen violence and strife in the city. 10 Day and night they go around it on its walls. Iniquity and trouble are also in the midst of it. 11 Destruction is in its midst. Oppression and deceit do not depart from its streets. 12 For it is not an enemy who reproaches me, then I could bear it. Nor is it one who hates me who has exalted himself against me, then I could hide from him. 13 But it was you, a man my equal, my companion and my acquaintance. 14 We took sweet counsel together, and walked to the house of God in the throne. 15 Let death seize them, let them go down alive into hell, for wickedness is in their dwellings, and among them. 16 As for me, I will call upon God, and the Lord shall save me. 17 Evening and morning and at noon I will pray, and cry aloud, and he shall hear my voice. 18 He has redeemed my soul in peace from the battle that was against me, for there were many against me. 19 God will hear, and afflict them, even he who abides from of old. Selah. Because they do not change, therefore they do not fear God. 20 He has put forth his hands against those who are at peace with him, He has broken his covenant. Point 21 The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. Point 22 Cast your burden on the Lord, and he shall sustain you. He shall never permit the righteous to be moved. Point 23 But you, O God, shall bring them down to the pit of destruction. Bloodthirsty and deceitful men shall not live out half their days, but I will trust in you. Proverbs 24. Do not be envious of evil men, nor desire to be with them. 2 For their heart devises violence, and their lips talk of troublemaking. Point 3 Through wisdom a house is built, and by understanding it is established. For by knowledge the rooms are filled with all precious and pleasant riches. Point 5 A wise man is strong. Yes, a man of knowledge increases strength. 6 For by wise counsel you will wage your own war, and in a multitude of counselors there is safety. Point 7 Wisdom is too lofty for a fool. He does not open his mouth in the gate. Point 8 He who plots to do evil will be called a schemer. Point 9 The devising of foolishness is sin, and the scoffer is an abomination to men. Point 10 If you faint in the day of adversity, your strength is small. Point 11 Deliver those who are drawn toward death, and hold back those stumbling to the slaughter. Point 12 If you say, Surely we did not know this, does not he who weighs the hearts consider it? He who keeps your soul, does he not know it? And will he not render to each man according to his deeds? 13 My son, eat honey because it is good, and the honeycomb which is sweet to your taste. 14 So shall the knowledge of wisdom be to your soul. If you have found it, there is a prospect, and your hope will not be cut off. Point 15 Do not lie in wait, O wicked man, against the dwelling of the righteous. Do not plunder his resting place. 16 For a righteous man may fall 7 times and rise again, but the wicked shall fall by calamity. Point 17 Do not rejoice when your enemy falls, and do not let your heart be glad when he stumbles. 18 Lest the Lord see it, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him. Point 19 Do not fret because of evildoers, nor be envious of the wicked. 20 For there will be no prospect for the evil man. The lamp of the wicked will be put out. Point 21 My son, fear the Lord and the king. Do not associate with those given to change. 22 For their calamity will rise suddenly, and who knows the ruin those two can bring. 23 These things also belong to the wise. It is not good to show partiality in judgment. Point 24 He who says to the wicked, You are righteous, him the people will curse. Nations will abhor him. Point 25 But those who rebuke the wicked will have delight, and a good blessing will come upon them. Point 26 He who gives a right answer kisses the lips. Point 27 Prepare your outside work, make it fit for yourself in the field, and afterward build your house. Point 28 Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause, for would you deceive with your lips? 29 Do not say, I will do to him just as he has done to me. I will render to the man according to his work. 30 I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man devoid of understanding. 31 And there it was, all overgrown with thorns, its surface was covered with nettles, its stone wall was broken down. Point 32 When I saw it, I considered it well, I looked on it and received instruction. 33 A little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest. 34 So shall your poverty come like a prowler, and your need like an armed man. Thanks for reading with me today. Come back tomorrow as we continue our journey through the Bible. Like and subscribe so you don't miss the next day.